hands up, anyone that's watching me right now. If you step out of your door in the morning, having rehearsed all your lines the night before, for all the conversations you're going to have that day, lines and scripts that were sent to you by a team of world-class script writers, and you rehearse them all the night before, and all you have to do is deliver those lines in your conversations that day. In TV world, this is what happens, right? The actors, they rehearse all the lines the night before or whenever, and they rehearse, and all they have to do is deliver those lines to each other in a scene. Now, if they're acting well and if we enjoy that show, then our brains can suspend reality, suspend disbelief, put that to one side and believe that these TV show dialogues are real and spontaneous and witty, and that's how the characters really are. But it's not the case at all, and it doesn't exist in the real world dialogues. In the real world, we have to speak spontaneously in the moment. We have to think on our feet. That's how it is in the real world. And we can't possibly have scripts in the real world. So that's number one. Number two is social. What's the word for it? Social. It's off the top of my head at the moment, but maybe it'll come to me as I go along. So here it is. Let's say again, you're in a conversation in the real world, and you say something. Is it funny? Isn't it funny? Now, what if you took a step back from that conversation and there was a crowd of people listening to your conversation, and you said something that might have been funny, and suddenly all this crowd of people burst into laughter? It's called social proof. That's what I was trying to snatch at earlier on, social proof. So all these people laugh at that thing that you said, and the other person listening to you that wasn't sure if it was funny or not, he's thinking, well, they're all laughing at it, so it must be funny. And so he or she laughs at it as well. That's social proof. And it doesn't exist. You don't have that audience in the real world. But over here in TV land, you have a studio audience. And they have a box that comes on when it's time to laugh at something or when it's time to clap at something. And this tells you, the viewer watching the TV show, that the audience found it funny. And therefore it must be funny, even if it's not really funny at all. Number three, the do-over. So again, imagine yourself in a conversation in the real world, and the other person is talking, and you're thinking to yourself, I've got nothing to say when this person stops speaking. My mind has gone blank. What am I going to say? Oh no, panic, think of something to say. But you've got nothing. You don't know how to respond. Maybe you don't know much about the topic that they're talking about. Whatever the reason, maybe you're a little shy, you're anxious. Whatever is causing your mind to go blank or to overthink, they come to the end of their sentence. So what do? Maybe you ask them a question to encourage them to keep on speaking. Maybe an awkward silence happens. Maybe you start talking about something else and start a new topic. Whatever happens, it's awkward, right? It's difficult. But what happens over here in TV world? Well, if somebody forgets their line, they can just reshoot the scene. You can't do that here in the real world. You can't say to the other person, oh, hang on a minute, I've forgotten my line. Let's take 5. I'll think of something to respond to what you said, and then you can repeat your dialogue from this point here. And then when you get to the end of it, then I'll deliver my line and we can continue. If you did that in the real world, soon enough the only friends you have will be friends that are wearing white lab coats, right? So that's number 3, the do-over. It doesn't exist here, but it exists all the time here, but you just never see it. Okay, number 4, and this is the one that you're probably going to find the most contentious out of the 5.